Welcome to the Post Shift Podcast, your raw look at the hospitality industry, brought to you by SHC. What is happening, Post Shifters? Welcome back to another episode of the Post Shift Podcast. Of course, I'm your host, Shawn Soole. Today, I'm giving you 5 actionable things to navigate the cost of running a restaurant into 2024. Last week, I did the state of business, and I did a little survey and sort of went through the results of that. And like one of the number one things that people are talking about is the increased cost of goods. And I spoke about that last week in the way of big corporations stretching the elastic on what people are willing to pay. That's going to come back, but it's a whole different conversation. So number one, actionable thing, cut smart, not cheap. You got to trim the fat, but don't slice into the meat. I really like that little trim the fat, but don't slice into the meat. Really rework your menu to maximize the ingredients that you have. If you go for a subpar ingredient and put that out, the quality goes down, then your guests will notice and guests won't come back. So you think you're saving money in the back end, but you're losing money in the top end. So you got to keep this tenuous balance. So maximize what you have and use it as much as you can. The amount of times I've seen major commercial kitchens trimming steak and throwing away everything instead of throwing that into burgers, and like the amount of waste that I still see in big corporate kitchens is insane. Same thing with the bar. Like, we keep all our sliced fruit and peeled fruit for different ingredients that we use in the bar. So we're trying, I don't like using sustainable because I think that's got a bit of a mantra of rah, rah, rah. And I think that a bar should be sustainable without saying it's sustainable, if that makes sense. Seasonal menus are key, which I know that a lot of kitchens do, especially here in Victoria. We have a plethora of food here on the island that a lot of restaurants do locally food. Number 2, labor, cross-train. This is one thing that I don't think enough restaurants still do, and it's something I don't really talk about, to be honest with you. This is one of the first times I've talked about cross-training. But in my head, everybody should be cross-trained. Everybody should be able to host the door. Everybody should be able to bus tables. Everybody should be able to barback and polish glassware. Servers and bartenders sort of cross-train, so servers can step in if bartenders are like in the weeds. So cross-training is a big thing. It's something we do try and push a little bit, but I do it naturally, so I haven't really talked about it too much. But cross-training is a win-win. So it makes scheduling easier, and it gives you staff that are really invested in overall operations. So tech save big. This is something that I struggle with. So technology, not that I'm not tech savvy, I tend just to be old school, and that's on me. One of my very good friends, Solomon Siegel, who runs Pagliacci's restaurant, when we did the renovations there in 2017 or 2018, he is a massive tech guy. So one thing he does is he has his very Apple savvy. So he has digital thermometers, wireless Bluetooth digital thermometers in every single fridge that connect to his phone and to the main computer at the work. So instead of your staff going through and doing temps, it automatically tabulates all that. It also tells him automatically when a fridge goes hot, so that he knows whether or not it's broken, it's just a door that's been left open, and it really can save you a shit ton of money when it comes to wasted food. How many times as a bartender or a chef you've come in and the cooler's broken overnight and everything is fucking gone? So I thought that was ingenious because it tabulates all your things, so you don't have a chef doing it pre-shift, post-shift, writing it down on a piece of paper for your food inspectors. It automatically tabulates it hour to hour, and then if it does have a hot run, it's a notification and you can go check it straight away. Another thing they did at LED is LED lights that are all like wireless LED lights, which are amazing. You can adjust them while you're off-site. It's incredible. What else? Oh, touch screens, a la sort of like fast food QSRs. That really like sped up everything. No more paper. It was all on a screen. You knew exactly what was coming up. You knew exactly where it was coming, what time it was running at. And so it saved a lot of time in the way of speed and efficiency between staff. It was an amazing, like, Pagliacci's is a 40-year-old Italian restaurant, but the tech that is in that space is insane. So I'm going to try and track down. I'll ask Solomon about the little wireless thermometer readers, because I think that's one piece of tech that is necessary for all the restaurants, and it's not that expensive. Number 4, negotiate like a shark. So this is one thing that I don't think enough restaurateurs, or maybe they do now, but restaurateurs do. And it's something I learned at Cafe Mexico working for Brad there. Bossman, we have a great relationship with Bossman. He would literally go through every single invoice, every single delivery, and see where the prices went up and down. So if he saw avocados going up, he would then go, okay, well, maybe I need to go to Wholesale Club to get my avocados from now on. He gets milk, agave syrup. He gets things that he knows he can get cheaper at Wholesale Club or a different supplier than the regular GFS, Cisco sort of suppliers. So he's constantly dynamically looking at things. It does take more time. Don't get me wrong. How much is your time worth? Another conversation. But if you know that dairy and certain things are always going to be cheaper at a pickup place like a Wholesale Club, do that and then order everything else from GFS. It's these sort of things, and he negotiates hard. Every year he sits down and puts the screws on the reps to get the very, very best price locked in for as long as possible. I think sometimes because it's transactional, a lot of owners don't sit down with their food supply reps and really figure out the best price for everything, especially if you say XYZ, like Cafe Mexico is a Mexican restaurant. You know you're going through tons of limes. You know you're going through tons of avocados. You know you're going through tons of tomatoes for salsa. So like locking in prices for that for 12 months is a big deal. It keeps you under control for inflation and stuff, how things spike. And it's something that if you can really negotiate it really well, you're going to save money in the long run. I think just a lot of owners don't know that you can actually do that. There's that sort of line you can cross. Community equals free marketing. Doing collaborations and doing events is building these loyal, raving guests that will come back to your place on quiet nights, will come back on event nights. We've done this really well at Clive's, to be honest with you. The one thing we did recently was we reached out to the pedicabs and said, hey, we're going to come and bring in your staff, bring in 20 of your staff. We're going to comp a stand-up sort of cocktails and food sort of night for you for a couple of hours. Come in for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Let us explain what we do here. And then out you go, basically. And the pedicab drivers are the ones that pick up people from the cruise ships. They're talking to people at all times when they're doing their tours and stuff. So we do get a lot of dribble business from that. Now, it's only a dribble. But dribbles start and then dribbles turn into tsunamis. So like have a think about being really creative on local marketing that's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. I am against print media. I will always be against print media. I'm against certain events based on the demographic that go to those events. A lot of people spend $2,000, $3,000 on going to an event when that should be going into digital marketing. That's a whole different conversation about digital marketing and Google ads and social media and all that sort of stuff. But doing community-based events and connecting with very dynamic new clientele, i.e. the pedicabs or the visitor center or concierges, is money well spent, because you know that those people who come in from that recommendation are going to say, oh, such and such from such and such told me to come here. And you can sort of get a register in your brain of who's coming through based on the money that you spent. So there's 5 strategies. I hope that helped out. These are all strategies that can balance out and save you. What an owner of mine said many years ago, watch the cents, the dollars will look after themselves. And so I think that's the biggest message. Watch the cents, the dollars will look after themselves. And at this time, in the market, the way that the market's sort of going right now with the cost of goods, go through your invoices, see where the charges are going up, see if you can get it cheaper at Wholesale Club. If you're driving around doing errands, I do errands 3, 4, 5 stops 3 times a week so that I can keep my costs down as much as I can. So your time as an owner or a manager or head chef, it's a relative when it comes to saving money. So I hope that helps. Thank you very much always for listening. See you soon.
Thanks for listening, Pose Shifters. Well, I hope you enjoyed that episode. I really enjoy sitting down with friends and peers and just chatting about the industry and getting down to the nuts and bolts of what's really going on out there. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment, everything on all the platforms. Just hit it up and I'll do my best to answer any queries or questions you have. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye.